Yeah, that drives in there. It's fits in there.
Okay, we are putting on a Subaru genuine part. That's a beautiful flywheel. Bearing is in there. And we want to make sure we get all the surfaces clean. Let's start on the back. Okay. So that's our mounting surface. And that looks just fine. It's exactly the same. And I'm gonna get some clean gloves on because this is the areas we don't want any oil on. So I'm just doing a quick wipe off on this mounting surface right in here, just to make sure there's nothing there, because this is what mounts up against the back of the crankshaft. This is nothing, this is just material. All right, I will turn her over. Okay, now we're gonna clean this off. And we wanna make sure there's no oil on this surface. Beautiful, okay. And we know we've cleaned in there. Now let's get it mounted. So if you look at this, we're actually inset there a little bit. That's gonna actually go on the stub of the crankshaft, and I'll show you inside. So when you look, this part of the back of the crankshaft is stubbed out. So that's actually gonna go on the fit of the flywheel. Everything looks good up there. Let's get that flywheel. We're gonna take this guy and line them up, and then just put them on there. That's all it is. Perfect. Now we'll get some bolts, and I'm gonna put Loctite on them. I'm gonna put blue Loctite and then torque these down. So I'll be right back. That's down. Done working? Okay. Now these only go to, I think, 15 foot-pounds. Okay, so we're gonna go through now and torque them up. Pins look good, they're seated, everything went down good. We got no gaps, we're good. All right, so that is a WRX clutch and flywheel install. Next will be installing the throw-out bearing on the clutch or on the transmission, and then install. So that's gonna go pretty good. It looks like we'll be all right. So I put in the fork, I put in the throw-out bearing, and you saw me put a little bit of extreme pressure grease on the contact points of the fork and the throw-out bearing. And then I put some die maker's grease on that pin that the fork pivots on. So, and then I wiped off all the excess that was on that pin, because you really don't want any oil or grease into that could maybe interfere into that clutch face. Okay, that's it. We're going to now get the engine, the transverse engine mount, and we're gonna pull the front of that motor up to take it like this. Then we have the ability to kind of slide this up at a different angle. Okay, this is the contraption I have. I put my transverse support right on the bracket for the power or air conditioner. Then I push the engine back. You can still see it can go back some more. Then I have my kid pull up on this to tighten it. A ratchet strap would have made it easier, but I've got the engine a bit tipped. Not a ton, but it might just be enough. So you have to be really careful because that ring is in there. When you go to depress the clutch, you have to make sure that that bearing locks, because this is a pull type, not a push. Okay, I'm getting angry and hungry, so I gotta be done. I'm done for today. I'll try again tomorrow. Okay, as you saw, I brought it up, brought it in, but I hooked a little bit of a return spring on the clutch, so I had to pull it back out, bring it down, put it back together, and then took it up and just eased it in. Once I got to the point where I could get a couple pieces of hardware in, I brought it in slow. Then just wiggled her and pushed her in. Went in really smooth, everything is really good. No wires are pinched, everything went in super good. All right, we'll get this thing buttoned up and take it for a test drive. Things are looking good. Well, I'm all done for the day. I went to seat the ring in this pull type clutch. Guess what? Nothing. It did not push in. Guess what's gotta happen tomorrow? Clutch has gotta come back out. Yeah! Anybody who's familiar with WRX, you know this is a pull style clutch. It has a keeper that looks like that, and it retains a ring that goes in that groove right there. So if you look, that ring fell out. And when I went to set the throwout bearing into the clutch plate, there was nothing. It only took me an hour to pull this clutch back out, or pull this tranny back out. I'm gonna repair that, and it should only take me an hour to put her back in. Hello. And now we're gonna fix it and put her back together. And this is exactly what it should look like. Each of those grooves has that little keeper in it. Keeper, keeper. And what I did when I put it in but pulled it back out is I popped this little keeper off, and I did not pay attention to that ring. Now that ring is seated where it belongs, in the keeper. We're ready to go. We're gonna clean this all back up, and we're gonna put her back together. Okay, I've got it all back together now, and we're gonna ease this in and see if she locks. Easing it in. Okay. Oh, it did. It locked. It locked. Yep, we're locked. Yeah. Oh, oh, baby. Okay, all we're gonna do right now is we're gonna get this exhaust up there on that turbo outlet. I do need to put a heat shield in right here, but it'll get in the way. So I have to put it on after I get this up there. And then we'll bolt this up and we'll continue moving. Frickin' wire tie razor blade. Ow, that sucks. That's factory too. I think they do that on purpose. That way we can all share in cuts. That's it. Turbo is done. Okay, well we've got we're now set to put these back on. That looks like it. Okay, let's go. And we'll drive that in. For this, we could just use a big round flat punch because we're just going flush. And if it feels like it's not going, don't do it. And it's going just fine. Okay, see it there? So we're gonna give that a little bit more. We're gonna get that a little bit more. So we're gonna use this guy. We're just gonna flush it. Okay, so I pounded that flush, and that guy is out just about flush. So that's perfect. Okay, that's good. So now we can do the other side. And that's good. So we're good. Okay, so I've gone through everything under here. So we're gonna get this guy down, put the intercooler on, get the starter, power to the starter, get everything all done there. All right, here we go. Blah bitty blah. Now remember that bolt goes right through there and it goes in that groove. So this should go right through there. Yep, perfect. But we'll put some never sees on the threads. Oh, and that's probably about 60, 65 foot-pounds. So we're good to go there. Back there is all done, all the rubber boots are in. Heat shields are all in. Yeah, that's it. So we'll bring her down, we'll get everything buttoned up upstairs, and then we'll just wait for the neutral safety switch. Okay, that does it for the clutch throw-out bearing. We had to pull the turbo, so we put a new turbo gasket on. And we did a rear main while we were down inside the engine. I don't know if it'd be easier to pull the motor or drop the transmission. A lot of people speculate, pull the motor. All right, that's gonna do it. We're gonna find something else to do. 94 Caprice Classic, we're gonna get some oil leaks fixed up. That's it. See ya.